Hello, my friends. It's Marie Wallace, and today I have Tiffany Eller and Daniel Vogt, and they want to say hello to you.
Hello to
And
you.
Hello to you.
hello. And I invite people to have more joy, love, and intimacy in their lives. And these guys have an awesome relationship. And so I thought I would bring examples to you of people who are making it work. And today we're talking about how to honor our relationships and how each of us is showing up in the world. Basically, that means support. And so these guys agreed to kind of give us a window and a view into their lives and their relationships and give us a few tips. So welcome.
Thank you, Marie. We're happy to be here.
I always like having you guys.
What would you like to know?
Well, so how long have you guys been together, and maybe a little bit about your situation and what you guys are navigating right now, because you have some new things that you've been working on.
That's true. We met in 2009 on the day before college started. We got together after we both graduated in 2014. You graduated 2013. I graduated 2014. So that's when we got together. And we got married on Leap Day 2016. So we have yet to celebrate our very first anniversary.
That's kind of fun. That's an interesting little fact.
And the short answer is we don't really know how long we've been together.
Well, okay, so curious minds want to know, this is just a tiny bird walk. So does that mean that your celebration will be like even more so? Like, this is the romantic side of me coming out and going, does that mean like you're going to have 4 times the celebration?
Yes.
Yes.
So the fun fact, on a leap year, Leap Day falls exactly in the middle of our birthdays. Our birthdays are exactly 7 days apart. So if hers is on a Monday, then mine is on the next Monday. But on a leap day, on a leap year, there is one more day in the middle of that week.
Ooh.
And so 4 days after her birthday, it'll be our anniversary, and then 4 days after our anniversary, it's my birthday.
So we have a week of celebration.
That sounds awesome, actually. Like
so that's just how we've treated it every year since we got married, is that we bookend just a week of who cares, let's do what we want and celebrate. But for our first official anniversary, we want to throw like a big party with our friends and go all out and celebrate, because we'll never have a first anniversary. We have 4 years to plan our
Do you still have your wedding topper cake for your cake?
We never had a big wedding because we had a courthouse wedding, and so we're still contemplating whether or not our 2020 anniversary will be like the big time.
Ooh, that sounds kind of cool. The 2020. That sounds like some great numbers lining up. So what I know about you guys is recently your job situations have changed up. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to start?
Yeah. So in August, we decided that the best course of action for our family would be for Danny to quit his full-time job and come home and be a stay-at-home dad, because that's something that he's always wanted, and we're only planning on having one child. So it was kind of like,
and he's good at it too.
And he's good at it. And it was like now or never. And so since August, I've been the entrepreneur of the house, and we're just like going along and trying to see how long we can do this.
So far, we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
As long as you're having fun, right?
Yeah. And I think we are. And like, that's why we wanted to come on and talk about honoring each other's journeys, because that was a giant leap of faith that we took to have Danny come home, because his income was carrying us. And I was just like, I was an entrepreneur, but it was.
And a freelancer. And by the time we decided to make the switch, your income was getting pretty close to matching my income. And so we thought, if there's ever a time to try it, let's do it now and hope we never regret it. And if we don't do it now, we know for sure that we will regret it.
Yeah.
We don't know if we will succeed. We don't know if we will fail, but we do know that we will regret it if we don't try.
Exactly. Now. So, whose idea was it?
It was kind of mine. I had a bad day.
I like it.
To be fair, I really liked my job. I had my own office. I got to work downtown. I was on the phone all day with people nationwide and in Canada, and I had so much independence. And I was in an extremely unique and extremely privileged situation at my company. And I felt that I wasn't in the right place, despite having so much that I was carrying and responsible for, and a list of successes that I was so proud of, and things that I learned and things that I knew I would be learning in the future. I still felt like I wasn't putting my gifts toward the right place at the right time. I was also tickled by my theater hobby. It sprung back up last year after being a bit dormant for a few years, and it all made the perfect storm of let's try it so that I can scratch the itch a bit more, and I can have this one opportunity to be a stay-at-home dad, or I'll never get it back unless we have another kid in the future, which we really don't plan on doing. And
sometimes those aren't, yeah.
Oh, never mind. I lost it. I don't know
so tell me about how you're navigating and helping each other along your journeys, because you have a very creative side too, Tiffany. I mean, so you're trying to juggle, and navigate that, plus your creativity. Both of you have creativity. Both of you have these big responsibilities. So how do you honor each other in that journey?
So I think what that looks like is, for us last year, it was honoring that while Danny was the support of our family, his mental health was more important than whatever financial burden he was carrying. And having to say, look, I believe in following your bliss, and if you're not following yours right now, I have to honor that, even though it can be scary at times.
Yeah.
And so, like, me doing that for him last year, and then recently, just probably within the last few weeks, I've had this resurgence in like wanting to really build my business and really build my personal development, and that requires a lot of solo time to be on my computer and do the work, or like just be by myself after a day at my computer. And Danny now honors me in letting me be by myself while he takes care of Henley. And like, it can be really hard for me to accept that sometimes, because I feel guilty taking that time away from the family for myself. But Danny, it makes it so easy to take care of myself, because he's so understanding of where I'm at on my journey. And I think it's like a game of ping pong, like where we're just kind of like hitting it back and forth to each other. So like, we depend a lot, sorry, this is long-winded. We depend a lot on our communication and our honesty of our own feelings, because without that, we wouldn't know when the other needed time to themselves. So I know that like, I'm good to step away to take care of myself until Danny goes, hey, I'm burnt out, I need help. And or hopefully he tells me before he gets to the point he is burnt out. But it's kind of that dynamic of just like giving it back and forth to each other when one of us calls for inward time.
Yeah.
We believe a lot in, or we depend on using the terminology of a gas tank or a fuel tank. I realized at one point that I couldn't explain to people why I don't always want to go to a party, or why maybe I just want to go to a party for a second and then leave. And I realized it was because I and many other people have a social fuel tank where we want to see people, but we can only stand that much energy for a little bit, or there's people in our lives that deplete that energy very quickly. And work, creative time, kids, the marriage, those all also require gas to function. And if you don't have any gas left in your tank for yourself, then of course you'll be grumpy and crabby and unproductive and unfulfilled and lose sight of your bliss. And so when we need to check in with each other, we pretty much just say, how's your fuel tank right now?
I like that.
And if empty, it means, okay, fine, go to Barnes & Noble, get a coffee, work, read, do what you gotta do to refill or recharge. I'm fine. We haven't yet come into a situation where the line for both of us is at empty. But I'm sure when we do, it usually just kind of looks like order a pizza and let someone else come for us.
Get a sitter for Henley for a little bit. And I appreciate that you guys talked about that, because I think too often we don't tell our partners what exactly we need. And it's so important. They can't guess. They can't see inside. I mean, they can kind of sense that, maybe we're being, but that's an expectation that could be easily, upset the apple cart if we try to guess versus actually knowing. And so it's really important for us to make sure we are communicating that. So I appreciate you guys bringing that up. And I love the analogy, because a gas tank, is so easy to see the gauge, and then our partner can visually see where we're at. Like, oh, we're about out of gas. It's time. It's time. I like
we're at about a quarter tank.
Yeah. And yesterday, in a completely unrelated situation, I had to explain to our roommate's 5-year-old son the difference between like the amount of space that you have in the sink versus how big the drain is. You can fill up the sink, but the drain is only so big and you can't make it drain any faster. And to extend the metaphor further, I believe some people's fuel tanks might have a really big drain, and so whatever fuel you put in there leaves a lot faster or whatever. And it takes gas and energy to try and make someone guess what their fuel tank level is at. And so it's not worth it to just say, I'm fine, ... and leave them guessing, because you're both just wasting gas. We believe it just is better for everyone if you're honest and say, I don't want to be around you right now. I want to be by myself for a few minutes. And it does not.
I love your honesty. Well, I love that metaphor. Well, if the sink is empty, like you can't put any water in it. It's out of water.
Yeah.
I'm going to use those metaphors. Those are awesome and perfect. We only have a couple of minutes left, so I really appreciate you guys taking the time to show how your communication works, because I think it's awesome. And we all have something to learn from everyone as far as relationships go. And so I hope that you'll come back and chat with me again and give me some more tips and tricks. But before I go, you guys are really good at connecting. You have very busy lives. So maybe give us, 1 or 2 tips on how you reconnect with each other when things get really busy. And it doesn't have to be much, but I know you guys have some little tricks that you do. So would you share 1 of those or 2 of those?
Can I take this?
Yeah.
So my favorite way to reconnect with Danny, especially after a day of a hectic everything, is every single night before we go to bed, we do something called delights and surprises.
Aww.
And this stemmed from somebody in my family, but we say one thing that delighted us, one thing that surprised us, and one thing we're looking forward to tomorrow. And just, sometimes we get off on these really long tangents, but that's what's so beautiful about it, is that like it starts with a positive sentiment and then it creates a positive conversation where we really just get to connect at the level we both are energetically ready for at the time. Because sometimes it's like, I liked that we had pizza for dinner. Good night. Like,
I like that you're going to bed soon.
Yeah, but even the nights that you feel kind of cold towards each other, like sometimes you sit there in silence for a little bit and then you're like, what was your delight today? And then it brings it back up and you get to go to bed on a good note. So
yeah,
and
or at least a neutral
note.
And something to look forward to in the morning.
Yeah, and then that gives you your 3 things that they say, like happy people recall 3 good things a day. So we like to implement that with our friends when they're over late at night too. So it's really great. It's a good group activity too. We do it with Henley before she goes to bed as well. And so it's just like good for connection all around, not just your romantic connections. So.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking time out of your evening and hanging out with us. And we look forward to learning more from you in the future. I hope you'll come back. And before I go, these lovely people are going to, be at the Love and Romance Conference and give us some more tidbits. They have a wealth of information. So yes, they may look young, but they are wise in years. And that's going to be March 15th and 16th. And I got kind of crazy today. For some reason, it's a month before Valentine's Day. So I would like to offer 2 for 1. I don't know where that came from, but so for the next couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days, we'll see, maybe the 17th, we'll offer people 2 tickets for 1. Why not? Right? It'll be fun. It'll be exciting. And then, is there anything else you want to add?
Just that the Love and Romance Conference that Marie put on in September was amazing. And if you have the chance to go this year or this quarter, I don't know how often you're doing them now, but if you have the chance to go to the next one, go. You won't regret it, regardless of what your relationship status is.
And you know what's exciting? We're going to introduce some really fun topics and play more. And we even have a couple of really fun romantic things. So yeah, it's going to be the same, but dialed up. So yeah. Until the next time we meet, may you find the gold in you, and may you find the gold in others like these awesome people, and may you find the gold in every day. Look at your bliss. There's some great things to be thankful for. Thanks again for showing up, you guys. Love you.